There's a lot said about trauma, childhood trauma, how to heal trauma. But what you don't hear often is that we in the present moment also can suffer from trauma and build trauma. So let's dive into that today. My name is Vera Helleman, I'm from the Netherlands, and I'm an expert on the energetic logic behind emotions, which can teach us a lot about the logic of life. When we look at trauma, we actually look at the moment that we have been hurt so severe and maybe also experienced it isolated, so we cannot cope with that hurt in that moment. So there were remains of that hurt still triggering us periods after that. So that's a short description of trauma. And of course, we all suffered from trauma when we were young. But in our adult life, we can also suffer from trauma and build traumas that weren't from our past experience, also not especially built from that past experience. It can also be that new experiences hurt us so deeply that we carry them along and haven't processed that traumas correctly or totally. So what I want to teach you today, and I will also tell you a story about that, is that how you recognize when you are in a traumatic situation and how you can avoid that you carry that along with you. So I will share you a very personal and very intense story. It is about the death of my father. Before he died, 1 month before he died, we heard he had cancer all over his body. He didn't know. He didn't suffer from any health issues ever in his life. He was very strong, but he also very much ignored emotions and physical inconveniences. He never took any pills, went never to a doctor. He hated hospitals, so it was not a surprise that it was all over his body at that moment. But of course it was a shock, because my strong father was suddenly very ill and in the IC. But that alone also was very intense. I could deal with that. But the most intense part was that he had a girlfriend, which I didn't know very, very good, because it was kind of fresh. He lived 3 hours away from me, and she was kind of strange. Afterwards, I got to understand that she suffered from psychiatric illnesses. During his deathbed, he needed oxygen. And there was a moment that she came to me, and she kind of searched for an ally. She was suddenly behaving very childish and like having a secret together or something like that. But I didn't understand it, and also wasn't very vulnerable to it. But what she asked me was, shall we close the oxygen so it will be quicker for him? What? She basically asked me to ally in murdering him? I was so shocked. So I of course said no. But from that moment on, of course, she was very dangerous to me. But my father, I didn't want to tell my father because I didn't want to hurt him more and to stress him out. I wanted him to have a silent deathbed. I was in a very unhealthy, dangerous and creepy situation. I couldn't sleep I couldn't be there also because I needed to survive. So along this very unhealthy and dangerous situation, there was a moment that I felt I was slipping into a trauma. And I want to explain this very in detail so you can recognize it when you are in a very unhealthy, dangerous situation. Disturbing, surviving situation that can also be when you're in a burnout situation or in an unhealthy systematic situation, for example with an abusive partner or something like that, or with a very aggressive neighbor, for example, that feels like a threat. So there are all kinds of situations that you can feel that you live in a with threat and you need to survive. Those are all traumatic situations in which you need to survive, and you have to hold on. So when you don't hold on, you can slip in a trauma. When you get a panic attack, for example, you are not present anymore, and you can also slip into a trauma. So it is very important that you stay awake and you do self-care. So self-care is needed to keep your energy system in balance, which is very difficult in a situation in which you need to survive. So coming back to the moment that I felt slipping into this trauma, I felt that I was losing it. I cannot hold myself any longer. So what I did when I noticed this, I stopped the time immediately, because slipping into a panic attack or trauma isn't an option. We have the first and utmost responsibility to take care of ourselves. So that's the most important thing that we always have to keep in mind. So the moment I felt myself slip into a trauma, a mosquito, it's a predator. So I slipped into this trauma, I stopped the time, I went inside of myself, and I searched into my bag of healthy coping mechanism what I could use to prevent that from happening. So what I came up with was EMDR. EMDR is a rapid eye movement technique that helps you recover from trauma, but I used it to prevent myself from slipping in trauma because all the experiences were too much at that moment. So what I did was I stopped the time, I looked into the ground, and I did this rapid eye movement, my eyes like this. And I kept on doing that for minutes. And so what is happening when you do this rapid eye movement is that it is a natural mechanism of the body, which sometimes is spontaneously coming up when you are by night and dreaming, and heal or recover from the experience you experienced through the day. So this is how they discover it. So I did it as long as I felt myself calming down. That was really a lifesaver. So prevent yourself from slipping into a trauma. There are more things to this story, what happened later. I will mention it in other very illuminate episodes, but right now this is the most important item I wanted to explain to you, to help you take care of yourself when you are in a situation with threat, or when you have the feeling you have to be in a survival mode because it's all too heavy for you. Okay? When you want to talk about it with me in person, you can fill it, by the way, the guest form, and also be in an episode of Fear Ever Held It. Subscribe to my YouTube channel to get more updates. And I wish you all the best in taking care of yourself. So stay tuned for more healthy coping mechanisms about how to deal with emotions. Bye bye.